Vincenzo's Gold Crypto Investing this March the 21st, 2025 noontime daily cryptocurrency update. The Bitcoin price has hit a new all-time high and is getting ever so close to that upper target now. As we've hit 111,000, let's see, try to get close as we can. 111,922 and 56 cents overnight last night and early this morning, and we're almost up to our 119,286.47 bullish target, still in this rising channel. And we got this target from coming similar to how we got this target down here to $74,000, giving you the first mover advantage. We got this target by going from the double bottom down here to about the neckline to the point of a breakout. And that gets you up there. Oop, hold on. The 97,000 to the point of a breakout. And that's what gets you up here to about the 119,286.47 level, right? And that's how we're doing that there. Another first mover advantage. It is pumping more than I thought it would, but it is still pumping in this rising channel. But on this volume last night, we did have a nice little candlestick in the 4-hour time frame there with some volume. But this rising channel are bullish continuation patterns, but they are bearish reversal patterns when they fulfill their move. But this did break a new all-time high, and I think it's better than maybe 60% now from the swing low to the swing high. Nope, we're up 49.10%. And that's what we're going to watch for, to continued move. Do we continue inching our way up in this rising channel like so? And inch our way up in this all the way up into the into our next target of 119,000 and change, which would be, you could see this continuing to move up and then come up to upper resistance somewhere very, very close or even along and on that target. And then we trade back down towards lower support, something like this out into the future and being at $112,000, right? So this is all very, very interesting and exciting on what's going on right now with the Bitcoin price. But we are in uh it wouldn't be technically a bull trap anymore. I guess it would still be a bull trap, but it would be to a new all-time high on the bull trap here if this does break down to the downside. But we keep whittling our way up, keep squeezing our way up as the volume keeps piddling its way down. Uh, So it's hard for me to believe that there won't be another break and a major correction to the downside, but that's still all in my head because nothing on the chart is showing it about to happen or happening, right? We're continuing to squeeze up. The moving averages continue to move up. And we're going to continue to watch this and look out for the retail investor and trader because that's what this channel was built for. It was built for you, the retail trader. It was built for the retail investor to get the best information that you can with the Bitcoin market cap up 2.91 trillion, still off its all-time high by quite a bit. Bitcoin dominance is down 0.46%, down to 64 even percent on the dominance, which allows altcoins to pump and pump hard, and they are today. You can see the Ethereum price is pumping again, very, very big. It bounced off the 200-day moving average at 24.44, and now we're about to take out the local top here, which if you do, you can make a run up here and hit that $3,050.11 at the bottom part of this blue trading support and resistance zone. And that's where we're at right now, and that's where we're going to continue to watch, along with the developing in about 5 days, 3 to 5 days, you can see this developing watch. We will have a bullish cross where the 50 is going to get on top of the 100-day moving average again. Uh, and that's very significant and showing long-term bullish action, which you can clearly see. We've had a long-term bullish action, and that might be what you need to run you up to the $3,050. If we look at the XLM, we are starting to get the bounce now. And this could be the start of a pretty major bounce. As you can see, the same with the volume, and XRP will look the same way. We started our bounce right here. Look at the volume, consolidated. Then the next volume spike came in. The next volume spike, you had your run up right there and your volume spike, right? Bam, bam. Then you had your clearly defined sell area in your consolidation right there, followed by a big spike, followed by the same consolidation period right here, where if we have our industry exclusive purchasing tool on here, you can see it better. spike, bullish, consolidation to the downside, bearish, pump, bullish, consolidation to the downside, bearish, and now we have two candles starting green, two candles in the daily starting to pump to the upside. So this might be the start of XLM and XRP pumping to the next leg of the upside into their rising channel, which would be all the way up here at about 37 cents, and that would be a pretty big move from the current price. That would be another 27.27% to the upside in XLM if this does continue moving to the upside, which I do think it is, and that could be on its way up to the 40 cent level, the 43 cent major support level down here. Come on, click that. Get rid of that. Up here at this 43 cent major support level, and resist or major resistance level, as we've had a freshly minted bullish cross, we're attempting to have another golden bullish cross where the 50 gets on top of not only the 200, but it gets on top of the 100 again, meaning that the medium and long term we have been bullish, right? Which you can clearly see as there's been a phenomenal pump ever since we wicked down to the 20 cents. But we did give you that first mover advantage, and it's the power of this channel was down here, and we did have it lined up for a major run, but we thought it was going to be from the 14 cents all the way up potentially to the 43 cents, but it looks like it might be doing it because you can never quite get exactly what's going to happen. You just hope to get sort of the rhythm and the rhyme on the flow of what's actually going on. And it looks like it might happen from where the low was about 19.9 cents or 20 cents all the way up to the 43 cents, right? So this is very interesting. It looks like we're taking off to our next leg up in this candle and in this pattern right here. We're going to continue to follow that with your major underneath support at 25 cents. And now your major upper target, your first one on the next leg before consolidation, 37.5 cents, and then potentially all the way up to the 43 cent level. And that could be the same thing for the XRP now. Another leg to the pump in here. You can see we've consolidated. We're starting to come up. We've had a bullish cross, right? We've stayed on top of the 100 and the 50-day moving average. And with the successful turnaround in the volume and the buying pressure and the new all-time high, this could be a perfect time for the next leg in its rising channel to go up to the 255 and to take out the 255 and potentially come all the way up here into this 276 level, because you can see where the next layer, if you break above the 255, the upper resistance would be up here in this cluster up at about 275 at the candle body level, right? And then obviously the 301 would be your major pattern breakdown. If you break above the 301, the whole pattern's invalidated if you held above that, right? So this is very exciting. This is very fluent time. But the one thing I'll notice is a lot of these altcoins, the ones that have moved up 2, 3x from their lows are the ones that were down 80% from their highs and are still off 40, 50% from their November, December, January local highs, right? And even though the altcoins have been moving up, there hasn't been the altcoin season where you're making new 52-week highs in the altcoins, which would be new closing in on all-time highs or all-time highs in a lot of these coins. They've been moving up, but not a lot, which leaves me some pause. Is the market trying to tell us something by the fact that these altcoins aren't racing up 1, 2, 3x as Bitcoin's hitting new all-time highs, and the price has been pumping for several weeks, right? The same as the AMP, an altcoin. You haven't seen the AMP fire, right? You can see the AMP fired at the end of the early spring of 24 pump, and then it fired again. But it did fire last, but it did start on the 6th and start pumping, and I guess it did start here, but it was one of the later ones to pump, getting in December when it peaked out. But AMP hasn't pumped. I'm still expecting, and it looks like it's starting that road where you start pumping with AMP right here, right before you get the mass explosion. And I am still expecting a big explosion, at least as high as a technical target, which would be up into this range from the 0.00913 all the way up to the 0.013 level, which from the current price still right now, that's another 100% to a 162% move on top of the 80% plus move that we've had. And I've been calling for this in the following channel because they like to break to the upside. And I still think this has to happen. And I think it's getting ready and it's getting primed. And that's what this breakdown of it and now moved to the upside by about 90% from wick to wick, and currently I think about 65% from wick to current price. Yeah, 60%. I think we're getting ready for a hyper pump here in AMP, and I'm going to continue to follow that. Same thing with ALGO. We're all in these rising channels. We're all in the same spot where we're having rising channels and constricting and tightening and parallel running moving averages, all at critical support and resistance levels. And if this breaks out with algo to the upside, your next move in algo would be a phenomenal move for the algo people, the people that have been in algo, the people that seen algo pump up and then take a big dump after it hit the 53, 54 cents with the end of the Trump run at the end of November and early December when it popped and then went down. I think this was better than 60 or 70% from the swing high to, yep, the swing low, 76.18%. But if it can break above where you're at now, you can pump up because you're at major resistance right now. If you can pump up, you can quickly move through this pinkish or light reddish trading area, and your first major resistance zone would be up here at 31 cents, and then obviously the major resistance zone is the top part of this trading support resistance box up there at 36 cents. Obviously on any kind of rejection you go to 20 cents, but right now it looks like you might have coiled up here. See how you got that coiled up action? And if this springs to the upside, you'll quickly see a pump all the way up here initially to 31, 32 cents, and quickly find your way up here near the 36-cent level. And algo, XCN's the same thing. If this breaks to the upside, and this is like we were talking about the other day, a nice tightening consolidation where now you can see after we've had some pumping, if we just want to go, I don't know what happened there. If we just want to go from, get that on here. See that? How you got this tightening range right here? But then we can even go to the body. You can see that we have a nice tightening consolidation. Then we clone that. Then we bring that down here into the bodies. And you can see we had a nice tightening consolidation. You could say that almost looks like a pennant flag forming along the top of the moving averages. And then the way you would do a technical target would be from the bottom of the move. We'll just go to the bases to the point of a breakout. And that would get you all the way up here to the 0.0631, which I believe would get you close. And it would bring you right up near a mountain double top from the end of the last move that you had there at the end of January and going into February when we told you there would be better buying opportunities. And we watched the price hit our technical target from wick high all the way to wick low. It went down 84.87%. But if this breaks out to the upside, you're looking to come up near the 0.04 all the way up potentially to the 0.063 major resistance level if this breaks to the upside. Obviously, if it breaks to the downside, the 200-day moving average would be going at the 0.013 cent level would be your major underneath support level after the initial 0.014 top part of that purple trading zone. But this is what we're watching out for. There could be a very explosive move taking place in XCN soon if this does break out to the upside. So we're going to continue to watch that and continue to follow it for you, the lovely listeners and followers of this beautiful station. Like the channel, subscribe. Peace and love on a rainy season of week cold, near record low max temperatures from just north of downtown Detroit in the great state of Michigan with drizzly conditions and a current temperature of 48 degrees. Peace and love. The Rock's Eyebrow. J.